Hi everyone, welcome to the next tutorial in the Sketching Ho Chi Minh City series. So this is what we are going to draw today. This is a scene at Ben Thanh Market in Ho Chi Minh City. I will be trying something different today. I will be using color pencils and watercolor and ink. I want to use color pencils because I see these colorful baskets here. I want to use the color pencils to draw the baskets and the ink line to draw all the other elements, and then after that use watercolor over the ink and color pencils. So if you want to use color pencils, you should pick those that are not water soluble, because when I apply water over the pencil lines, I do not want them to dissolve. So let's take a closer look at this scene. Now, usually in a market scene, it's quite busy. There are a lot of people walking around. You should pick a spot to stand or sit where you do not obstruct the traffic. Some of these shop owners, these sellers, they can get quite irritated when you affect their business. For example, if you're standing too close, then their customers are not able to see their produce or their fish that they are selling, and it really affects their business. So usually when I am standing in front of the shop or in front of a store like this, I tend to stand a bit further away where there is no crowd, but I can still see everything, so that I do not affect their business. And if you do not affect their business, they will leave you alone as well. Alright, usually people will be walking around. In this case, this is a photo, so the people, they are static, they do not move, but when they are moving around, it can be quite challenging. And before I start drawing, I usually spend a few minutes just to stand there and observe the people who are moving around. I want to see who are the ones that do not move around. Then I will try and focus on them and draw them into the scene later on. If they do not move that much, they are a bit easier to draw. So these are the earlier sketches that I have drawn. So today I'm going to start on the fourth. This is the Stillman and Burn Delta series sketchbook, the soft cover version. I'll be using this ballpoint pen today. This is the Uniball Signal Gel Stick 0.7. I'm using this because I left my fountain pen in the office, so I'm using this. The ink is waterproof when dry. I'll be using this box of color pencils. This is the Koh-i-Noor Polycolor 12. This is not water soluble, so this should work fine with watercolor later on. And of course watercolor, which I'm going to show you later. So let's get started. Now when drawing this scene, I want to draw the person in quickly, because the person is actually one of the larger elements in the scene. So I want to make sure that I can fit this person in. When I can fit this person in, I can fit everything else into the scene. So when drawing a person like this, there are some quick tricks that you can do. You can just use one line to represent the elbow. You can draw one line like this to represent the elbow, one line to represent the back and the legs, and one line to draw the head. And after you have all these lines, you can basically just connect all the lines to draw the shape. I'm going to show you that. So I'm going to start around here. The person's feet is going to end around here, so I put my finger here. I'm going to start around here. Just draw the head like this. A very quick sketch will do. So this person, the hand is going to be like this, and this is the hair, this is the back, this is the where the shirt ends, and this is her legs. So try to draw all these main lines very quickly. After you have all these main lines quickly, you roughly have the shape of the person, and you can basically just fill in all the blanks later on. And it really helps if you have been practicing drawing human figures, because if you have done that, if you have a good knowledge of human figures, you will be able to basically draw this from your imagination, even if the person has walked off. So for my case, I'm doing some changes to this person. Now, when drawing this other feet, make sure you know where it's going to start and where it's going to end. So it's going to start around here because of the perspective. It's going to start a bit higher and it's going to end somewhere around here. So this is where I can switch to using my color pencils. Yellow is not a very strong color, but I think it does fine here. And now I'm going to draw the next largest element, which is the table with all the fish. Now the table is going to start somewhere around here. It's going to end around somewhere around here. I'll have to measure using my pen to see where is the corner of the table. So the corner is here. It's going to end somewhere around the knee level. So it's going to end somewhere around here, which is here. So I know where it ends. I will just basically connect like this. So there are many fishes on the table. I'm going to draw them in later on, but now I just want to draw the big shapes first. There is a chopping board here. I want to draw that in as well because I want to get the shape of the table. Now when drawing the table, I have to make sure that the top of the table, it doesn't cross over to this person's neck, because the highest point is actually at her chest level here. So it should not cross here. Now the fish is going to be overlapped by this basket here. And there are a lot of baskets here as well. I'm not going to draw those in. I'm going to use my color pencils. And alright, let me move to this side here. There is a red basket here. So this is the red basket. I'm not going to draw that. I'm going to leave some space because I want to draw this weighing scale first. This weighing scale is around this area. So I want to draw this weighing scale because this part here is silver. So I will not be drawing that with the color pencil. I want to draw it with black ink and then use the color pencil to draw the green colored weighing scale. And now I can use the color pencils to draw in all the baskets. I'm going to start again with yellow. There is a basket just right beneath this. Make sure to pay some attention to the perspective of the basket. Constantly switching between color pencils can be quite inconvenient, but that's just how it is with color pencils. You always have to be switching. Some of the baskets are actually metal trays. So for those metal trays, I'll be using ink like this. So notice some of the baskets, they are actually cropped off. There's another person standing here, so this is the person. I have left some white space here so that I can draw the hand of the person. So now that I have drawn all the large elements in, I can basically just drawing all the fish on the table and also in the basket. Those are little elements that are quite easy to draw. Let me move on to the background first. So the background has a lot of little small items. I want to draw those first. To make the perspective more obvious, I'm going to draw the lines, the grids on the ground. And here as well. Now the vanishing point of the grids are actually pointing to somewhere around here. So all these lines, they are going to point somewhere around here. So as I reach this area here, the grids on the ground, they would point somewhere around here because this is the angle. So you can see the angle, it points somewhere around here. So as I reach this area, the lines are actually going to point somewhere around here. Alright, now for the fun part, the watercolor section. I'm using the Novskaya Palitra Sable brush. This is a size 5 or size 6. This is a mixture of Daniel Smith and Mission Gold watercolors. Now as I look at the scene, I see a lot of colors. I'm going to start with yellow first and yellow ochre. So usually before I start, I wet the colors that I'm going to use. So I want to wet the red, I want to wet ultramarine, I want to wet cerulean blue and burnt sienna and yellow ochre. Alright, so I'm going to start with yellow first. Mix it with a bit of yellow ochre. I'm not really paying attention to keeping the watercolor within the lines because this sketch is very loose. I just want to play around with the colors. Now as I am painting with the yellow, I want to make sure that I leave white space for parts that are supposed to be white. And with yellow ochre, I'm going to mix some skin tone. Just a bit of yellow ochre with a tiny bit of red for the skin tone. Some of them are wearing gloves, so I must not color the whole hand. Alright, now I'm going to move on to green color. Since I'm using yellow, I can add a bit of blue to get the green. Cerulean blue is going to give me a nicer, more yellow green than ultramarine green. Alright, after green I'm going to use blue. So let me wash my brush. I'll be using ultramarine blue. It's a bit too much water. And now I'm going to red color. Red is usually quite strong, so I need to neutralize it a bit. Usually I use burnt sienna with a bit of red so that the red isn't that strong. This is perhaps too much water. Of course, sometimes you do want a very strong red color. And now I want to mix some purple color with the red and ultramarine. Now to get a bright purple, I would use a cool red. So a cool red and ultramarine will give me the purple. Alright, this is almost dry. Now I'm going to create a large mixture of ultramarine and burnt sienna wash. So I'm putting a lot of water here. I'm using a lot of ultramarine. Let me just draw this curtain first. You can use any earth tone to mix with ultramarine. You can get different shades of gray tone. So let's try this. If it's not that interesting, I might actually add some cool red to the wash. The colors actually fade around this area, so I'm going to wash my brush, clean it, and mix some clean water and basically just fade this side. Like this. Perhaps a bit of paint here and there. Okay, I think this is good. So this side here is going to be very dark. So again, the mixture. Okay, now I'm going to wait for this to dry again before I add in the really dark shadows. Alright, this is almost dry, so now for the final wash, it will be ultramarine again with a lot of burnt sienna. Or if you want to, you can use Van Dyke brown, anything that is black. I also want to add a bit of cool red to make the shadow area a bit more interesting. So for this part, I'm going to work very quickly. Just dab some paint here and there. Some of the color pencil lines are covered by the watercolor and they are no longer very clear. So I'm going to use some color pencils and white gel pen to redraw some of the lines to make them a bit clearer. So I'm going to start with this. I also want to add some dots to the ground. Now for this basket, the yellow can no longer be seen, so I want to use a different color instead. So I'm going to use just this orange to draw the basket. And same for this basket. For this green part here, perhaps I can use this pen. This is also the Signal gel stick. They come in different colors. There's blue, purple and red. They are all waterproof when dry and they are quite convenient, especially when it comes to touching up things like this. So this is it. This is the completed sketch. It looks a bit messy. This scene is messy. I actually kinda like it. I like the liveliness, the colors, the splotches. Maybe perhaps the colors, the watercolor is applied a bit too patchy, but I think it still works. I'm not sure how it shows up in the camera though. Maybe it's going to look a bit messy. But let me show you a close up. So these are the baskets. This is a chopping board, weighing scale. There is a fish inside this basket. These are the sellers. They like to stack their things behind, so it's a bit messy. So that's all for this sketch. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments section below. See you in the next video. Bye!